What is up, everybody? It is Wick here, and I've got another box, I believe, from the crazy person that sent me a hate package before. I made a video about that. If you didn't see the video, go check that out if you want some context. I'm not going to go over everything, but basically they weren't happy with a $10 purchase. They did not send the original item back. Instead, they sent some like old rotting food and some just other random crazy things. But I ended up blocking that person. I ended up reporting that person to eBay. I don't know if eBay ever banned them, but this is obviously another eBay handle, another username. It's coming from the same location. This time they bought like a $12 hat and this was returned. Obviously there's not a hat in here. It's very heavy. I hear stuff rattling around. So we're gonna open it up and see what's in here. I got some gloves on this time because before people were like, why aren't you wearing gloves? And it's like, well, I didn't really know what I was getting into for one. This time I can expect well, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. So I'll pop it open and then we'll kind of go over, what's going on with it. And I'll do an update after I contact eBay again, talk about that some more. This box is actually bucket storage. I don't know where it actually came from, but here we go. And I can already, oh boy, this could be bad. I see some clothing. Some just random styrofoam again. I don't know. Like, what is this? Just a plastic bag? I don't even know what this is. Some sort of, looks like a piece of plumbing. I don't know what that is. Hey, some rotting lettuce. Yep. Some more styrofoam. This one doesn't seem to have as much, maybe. What is this? Not sure, some sort of like jack or something. Does that say set parking brake firmly? Not sure exactly. Got some clothing here, possibly underwear. Who knows? Now I'm super glad I have these gloves on. But that looks like about it. The last box, I actually got some stuff I could resell, make some money, but this one's just looking like junk. So I'm actually going to have to go take pictures of this, do a complaint on eBay. They'll probably just refund them again and I won't have to pay it, but I'll probably call eBay this time and say that, hey, this person's bought from me twice. Some people were saying that I should contact the post office. Maybe I'll take this back to the post office tomorrow, but I have a feeling they'll just tell me to, contact eBay or whatever. But I'll do all that and then I'll just update the video as I get more information. So I got some new developments into this returned package, and here's the original return details. Now, I did not read these when this hat was returned. I was just very busy. Saw that this hat was being returned. I'm like, whatever. Just assume they didn't like it. Return reason doesn't work or defective. I don't know how that works with a hat, but it says item is not legit, especially since it is a Packers hat being delivered to Illinois. We don't appreciate that at Skulls. I really don't know what they mean exactly, but as soon as I read that, I was like, of course, if I would have read that, I would have knew immediately that it was the same person as before. I cross-referenced and the addresses are the same from the other eBay account. So it's coming from, the same location. But I ended up doing the same thing I done last time. I filed a report saying that this person returned the wrong item, took pictures of everything, explained that this is the second time, gave my evidence and all that. When this happened before, it only took about 6 hours and I got back eBay saying that they were going to cover the cost, but they were going to refund the buyer out of, eBay's money. And I was like, well, whatever, if that's what you want to do. This time, it didn't go that way. I got this message instead. Thank you for getting in touch with eBay about the item number that you sold to your buyer. I appreciate you taking time to share your concerns. I'm happy to look into this case and check options for you. I reviewed your listing, the item photos, the communication between you and the buyer, and the information you provided to us in your case. I also noticed that the buyer was able to return the item using an eBay label. I understand that you received back a different item. Please do not issue a refund. We will wait for the case closure, and once buyer will get a refund, then submit an appeal. If you have photos of the item you received, you can also provide. We will use these evidence to file a fraudulent return against the buyer. I don't even know if this is a English speaking message, to be honest. It just worded a little weird. I trust this information helps, and we thank you for your patience regarding this matter. We thank you for using eBay, blah, blah, blah. Jill A, sincerely. Thank you, Jill A. So I'm reading this and I'm like, wait a minute. They're saying that the buyer buyer's going to get a refund. I didn't know if it was going to be me that has to refund or eBay again, but when I'm reading the then submit an appeal, I'm like, well, I'm going to have to submit an appeal. And I know that most people online, when you make a claim like this, you do have to submit an appeal. eBay's just always going to make you refund, and then you have to prove that it wasn't your fault or whatever. So I don't know what happened the first time where it was just so easy. Maybe it was just the person reviewing it. It's like, that's disgusting. Or maybe it's because it was so recent that I did one and they refunded it. This time they're like, well, we have to, make you go through the process. I really don't know. So not long after I received that message, I got this. This case is now closed. Hi. We reviewed this case and decided to issue the buyer a full refund. We understand that you received your item in a different condition than when you shipped it, but unfortunately we couldn't determine that this was caused by the buyer or that this is something that was in the buyer's control. And it just goes on to talk about, how much they refunded them and so on. So I'm reading this. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Like, I have to pay for the refund for this. There's definitely no investigation really going on, right? Because this is happening like within an hour or two, like 5 hours at the most. I'm getting these messages, I wasn't really paying attention. I think this one was almost like 10 minutes after I got the last one, honestly. So from here, I actually had to go do research to figure out how to do an appeal. They don't make it easy for you. They don't explain anything. I can't even remember now exactly. There's so many runarounds. I think at the bottom of the return details page, there was an option. There's a little option down there to appeal this case. So I went through the appeal process, which was the exact same as reporting that the item received was different. I just sent in the pictures, explained everything, explained the cross-referenced all the addresses and accounts. And I believe by that time, I was going to bed, but I did get a message I saw the next day. We've granted your appeal. Hi. After reviewing the case, we decided to reverse the outcome and grant your appeal. You'll receive a full refund. This case will not affect your seller performance and will remove any feedback that was posted for this item. So I have to say that's a win for eBay. I honestly did not expect to for the appeal to go through, especially after dealing with Amazon. Like, I spent a whole month trying to get my Amazon account back when I was kicked off of there. And I couldn't find any evidence, or they wouldn't tell me why I was kicked off. That's a whole other story though. Now, I don't know when they reverse this. I'm assuming that eBay's just refunding me. They probably also refunded the buyer. But if you remember back in that other message, they said they're going to press like fraudulent charges against them. Who knows if they're going to actually do that. I went back and ended up, reporting the new buyer's username. I'd already reported, the previous one, blocked the person. And I don't know if they're doing this to anyone else, or they're just seeing what they can get away with, or they're just kind of a person off the rocker. But now that I know the address, I know what to look for. I'm just not going to ship to this person if they do buy something again. I'll just report them directly and cancel the order. I even talked to eBay about that. I said, well, what if this person, orders again? Should I ship them the item or should I just cancel the order? They didn't really answer that. They just gave a cookie cutter response type thing of, we understand your concerns, and if you have any problems with people, you can report them here. And it's like, I know that, but why do you just keep letting people sell that are doing this? You're losing money. And I know they can shadow ban this person, they can shadow ban the address, the IP and all that. I know for a fact they have some very good technology with that, because I knew someone who got their eBay account banned. They couldn't make a new account because that was getting banned. They couldn't connect it to any of the bank accounts they previously used. Any little thing that was connected would get them banned. It was so much so that the mother made an account that they were going to try to use, and that account was also banned because it was in the same house. So I don't know if they're going to do that to this person or what. If they've done it to anyone else, they'll be able to look into it and probably do that. I don't know. It's just one of those things that happens on eBay from time to time. People are going to try to scam you. I don't let stuff like this, decide if I'm going to sell on eBay or not. I probably sold 2,000 plus items this year. I'm not going to let a $17 item and a $10 item, be like, well, I'm done with eBay, screw them, and then just give up, on like $100,000 in sales or something like that, right? Just because of some problems. That being said, it is frustrating to deal with just because of the time and stuff like that. But I tell people who are selling on eBay, you just kind of have to roll with the punches with stuff like this, because it's going to happen. If you sell on eBay long enough times, it doesn't matter if you're doing free returns or no returns, people can always do this to you. All someone has to do is say item not as described and you'll be forced to take a return. If you can't deal with that happening every now and then, eBay is probably not for you, or Amazon or anything, any sort of retail, because any store, brick and mortar store, are getting robbed and scammed constantly. It's just, you got to keep that stuff down as much as you can, but at the same time, just factor that into your business. That doesn't make it right, and eBay could definitely do a better job at protecting their sellers, that's for sure. Make sure to let me know in the comments if anyone's dealt with this appeal thing and it didn't go in your favor. I would love to hear the stories about that. Get a little bit of a case study going on in the comments. I also wanted to say, people in my last video was wanting me to give out this buyer's username so they could block them. I do not feel comfortable doing that. I don't think it's the right thing to do, to give out personal information like that. Somebody could be watching that's just, more crazy than this person, and they would send this person messages, harass them, maybe even, find out where they live, show up at their house. It's not my place to do that. You wouldn't want some eBay buyer giving out your personal information. So like, even though this person's kind of done me wrong now twice, there's no money out of my pocket technically, just time. And I'm hoping this is the end of it and eBay can actually ban this person. Also, in my last video, people were telling me that I should do a police report because it's fraud. I looked into that, and it seems like most people on eBay that's doing police reports are saying that the police won't do anything. In fact, a lot of police are trying to get you not to make the report. If you insist, I think by law, the police have to take a police report, but they're not going to do anything about it. It's not worth my time to do that. I do think I'm going to let the post office know. I'll just give them the address and say, look, this person's been doing mail fraud. And they're also defrauding the postal service, because the hat was 8 ounces and what they shipped me back was like 6 or 7 pounds. So I'm assuming, the post office lost some money in that deal, because the return label was only for like $4. It probably costs like $15 normally to ship a box like that. So the post office will care about stuff like that if people's doing it. So it's not going to hurt. I can just go in there, go to the postal window, tell them the situation, and give that information. So I will do that. I'm not going to do a police report. I just don't think the police have better things to do, right? The only benefit I see is if it got really bad and escalated, at least I'd have a police report in showing I was, talking about this months prior. Again, if anyone has any experience with that and it went anywhere, I would love to hear about it. The worst thing is, this time I didn't get anything sellable. Last time I got those brand new sealed earbuds and some Nike flip-flops, which honestly, those Nike flip-flops ended up being thrown away because they had that avocado on them. And I set them outside because I just didn't want them sitting in the house until I had time to clean them. A couple days went by and I went out there and I started, cleaning off the avocado, and there's just spots where that avocado was sticking to it. I'm like, this isn't worth my time. I just threw them away. The earbuds, though, they're sitting in a drawer. I might actually end up opening those and using them. Otherwise, I can sell them for like 25 bucks. So if you didn't see the last video, I'm actually making money on the return box. I don't know what else, what that metal thing was in there. Some sort of brake thing. I don't think that's really worth selling. But the used underwear, maybe worth selling in a different market. There's some weirdos out there, but you can't sell that stuff on eBay anyway like that. So all that's getting thrown away. I got the pictures, so I got all the evidence I need if it needs to be brought back up. But anyway, that's the video. I hope you learned something about eBay there, or at least was entertained by my misfortune here. One thing about this channel is I love to keep it as real as possible. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that eBay is just absolutely glorious to sell on. I know a lot of resellers, they don't want to talk about this kind of stuff because they want people to be watching their channel. And of course, I want people to watch my channel, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you you can make $10,000 a month on eBay and not have any problems, right? But I do really appreciate you watching. If you could, hit the like button before you go. Check out some of my other videos if you're new to the channel. I show a lot of awesome stuff you can look for to sell online and make money. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Till next time.